Services offered: 2D echo, heart imaging technique which visualizes the heart size and determine etiologic, anatomic, and physiologic heart problem. Plain and with color flow Doppler and with contrast study. Stress echo. Dobutamine stress test, stress echo without physical exercise. And pedia, by appointment. Treadmill/stress exercise test. Records heart's electrical activities during active exercise. X-ray. Chest X-ray and special procedures with minimal radiation exposure. Ultrasound, imaging of body parts using sound waves. General ultrasound. Transvaginal, vascular, arterial and venous duplex scan, 4D ultrasound. CT scan, computed tomography, multi-slice imaging of various organs. Mammography, imaging of the breast for early detection of cancer. Endoscopy and colonoscopy allows the doctor to examine gastrointestinal tract by using camera for direct visualization, spirometry. Pulmonary function test, used to diagnose asthma and other conditions that affect breathing. Complete laboratory, routine hematology, blood chemistry, serology, immunology, clinical microscopy, electrolytes. Pregnancy test, drug test, home service available, DOH, LTO accredited. ECG, electrocardiogram, a recording of the electrical activity of the heart. Audiometry, tests the person's ability to hear various sound frequencies. It is needed to determine hearing loss. Multi-specialty doctor. Cardiology, obgynecology, internal medicine, pulmonology, dermatology, colorectal surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, pediatric surgeon, general surgeon, ENT doctors, cardiopedia, pediatrician, endocrinology, nephrology, rheumatology, urology, ophthalmology, hematology, oncology, gastroenterology, aesthetic.
This is the story of how cholera changed my village. Tiny germs of cholera, too small to see, spread through the river. So small, yet so dangerous. Without realizing, women carried cholera home in the water. Flies carried cholera on their feet. Unwashed hands spread it too. We swallowed cholera germs in our water, on our food, and on our fingers. It happened so fast. By morning, my father was very sick. He had diarrhea that looked like gray water and poured out of him. I was so scared. I went for help. I never rode so fast. One look at my father and the nurse knew it was cholera. We had to work fast to save him. We made a special drink to help him. First, we made the water safe. We filtered it through cloth and boiled it for 1 minute. Then we mixed half a teaspoon of salt and 6 teaspoons of sugar in 1 liter of this safe water. It tasted like tears, not too salty. I worried my father would die before my eyes, but he soon felt a little stronger. The nurse explained to me that not everyone who swallows cholera germs gets sick like my father, but they can still spread the disease. Now I needed to take safe water to my village and teach them how to protect themselves from cholera. I saw a girl carrying water. I told her she could make the water safe by adding chlorine drops and waiting half an hour. There was a man about to eat with unclean hands. I told him to always wash his hands with soap and safe water after going to the toilet. Only with clean hands could he eat safely. I saw villagers spreading cholera into our river. I told them we needed to dig latrines far from the river, at least 30 meters away. This was important to keep our village clean. I found a mother preparing unsafe food. I told her, first, we must wash our hands with safe water. Then, we had to wash and peel the food, cook it and always eat it hot, and protect it from flies. I spread the word throughout my village and ran to find my father. I was so happy to see he was better. Our village became healthy. Now we filter and boil our water to make sure it is safe. We always use latrines and always wash our hands after. Food is safe from flies, washed and peeled and cooked. And we always wash our hands before cooking and eating. We made our village safe from cholera. Spread the word. Your village can be safe too.
Good evening and welcome to the show. I'm Larry Bruhard and I'll be your host this evening and every evening in the future for Public Good. We try to identify corporations, institutions, and individuals who do good things and do them well. And tonight we have a very special guest, Dr. Arturo V. Estuita. He's been a medical doctor since 1964. He's a practicing internist, preventive medicine specialist, and the founder of the Philippine Society of Chelation Therapy. He's also the founder of Friends of Chelation, a co-founder of the Philippine Anti-Aging Medical Society, and an awardee of Who's Who in the Philippines. Dr. Art, thank you very much for coming this evening. Could you start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, actually, I want to be known more as a preventivist. I love teaching people how to prevent illness, especially illness that are very expensive and dreadful. No? As an internist, I like the prevention of most of the diseases that kills people, especially the heart and the brain attack, hypertension, diabetes. And because I'm an internist and the body does not only consist of the brain and the heart, I also teach the public about the prevention of quite a lot of diseases. Because I always believe that prevention is education, information, and information is prevention. This is the thing that I do. So this is my advocacy for the past many, many years. But then in my clinic, I do practice the treatment of disease of the heart in the brain without surgery.
And how did you come to do this? You started off as a regular doctor. How did you move on to?
You know, actually, I was trained by 4 American mentors. But then after about 15 years of practice as a conventional doctor, I found the failure of conventional medicine. I was then in a beach at one time. We call it Mahal na Araw. It was a vacation. And it occurred to me a question: why is it that for the past many years that I had been treating patients, the statistic of killers, diseases had not changed at all? Heart disease was number one. It's still number one now, 15 or 17 years after. Number 2 is stroke. Number 3 is cancer. And as I said, the number 4 is multiple or polypharmacy. So what I did was...
I didn't hear it.
Multiple medicine or polypharmacy. And so, you know, even if my vacation will take about 3 or 4 days in the beach, I told my family that I'll have to go home and make a self-imposed protocol to really study what is wrong. And you know, I found out that there are so many wrong things that I turned my back to the many years that I have trained for, no, especially in chronic degenerative disease, this thing that I have mentioned. So, in the study of these diseases, I found out that there are not only about 9 to 10 causes, but I discovered 21 other causes. So how will you be able to cure when you are only dealing with 9 causes? No? And the sad fact is, I discovered that one of the frequently blamed culprit, which is cholesterol, is not actually the cause. No, it's not actually the cause. So how will these dreadful diseases be leaked? It cannot be.
Can I ask, how did you decide that cholesterol wasn't the cause? Because that's what we hear from everybody today.
Exactly. Now, there are scientific and practical explanation to this. Number 1, arteriosclerosis can start from birth up to, say, as early as 15 to 19 years old. There is already beginning arteriosclerosis. And these people does not have high cholesterol level. You will not see a child that was born with high cholesterol. You will not see that. Number 2, you know, the circulation is made up mainly of 2 blood-carrying structures. The artery develops arteriosclerosis, while the vein does not develop arteriosclerosis. Now, the vein contains the same amount of cholesterol as the artery. Why is it that it does not develop arteriosclerosis? Because cholesterol is not the cause. For practical reason, every patient knows, the public knows, that we get blood from the vein to determine the amount of cholesterol we have in our body. Now, the same amount is in the artery. But why is it that the vein does not develop arteriosclerosis? And I talk with pathologists, I talk with all cardiologists. They know that there is no arteriosclerosis in the vein. But it contains the same amount of cholesterol. If it is high in the artery, it is also high in the vein. But why is it that there is no arteriosclerosis there? Because the reason is it is not the cause. It is not the cause. No. In fact, I'm so worried if you treat the cholesterol as a cause. You know, they say that it should not be higher than 200
Yeah,
total.
right.
And the LDL, which is the bad boy, should not be more than 100. But you know, to treat this is even dangerous. The American Journal of Medicine says that it may cause cancer. Many of this medicine for cholesterol to lower it down.
Okay.
Now, number two, since cholesterol is an ingredient, it is a component of the development of our male hormones.
Okay.
No, the testosterone, which, by the way, males and females have testosterone. No, if you lower the cholesterol, then your ingredient for the development of this hormone will be low. There will be none. In fact, if you will lower it at 160, 170, no, there will be less cholesterol available for the production of testosterone, and so you'll be impotent. You'll be impotent. And then, of course, it has something to do with the life. What kind of a life, quality of life will you have? If you do not have, you know, I hope you understand me, if you don't have the sexual urge or the libido, no. Okay. And then they say that cholesterol lowering may cause a lot of depression. Now, there are studies that there is suicidal tendency for those who are frequently depressed. Number two, those who have low cholesterol are accident prone, maybe because of the depression also.
I see.
No, so this is the reason why I do not lower the cholesterol numerically or quantitatively. What I do is I just give something, usually a natural medicine, no, that would neutralize the bad effect of cholesterol, but not lower it down, because it's very important for our body. In fact, the truth is, it is a component of our cell membrane. All of the cells are made up of, the cell membrane made up of cholesterol. So why will you lower it when it is very important for the cell membrane?
Okay, we know that cholesterol is not the cause, but now I have another question. Why do the arteries harden and the veins do not?
Okay. You know, that is a very, very good question. There is a layer in the artery. You know, there are 1, 2, 3 layers in the artery. There is a muscular layer in the artery, while there is none in the vein. The muscular layer mutates whenever it is acted upon by a molecule or an atom like the free radical. It mutates. It causes migration. It goes towards the outside. So there is development of a hump in the artery. See, but the vein does not contain it. This is one reason. This is one reason. So, and this is the principal reason actually. No, so you will never see arteriosclerosis in the vein, but there may be blood clot.
Oh,
Blood clot is not arteriosclerosis.
Right,
No,
right.
it can also obstruct the vein. But arteriosclerosis is the combination of the blood clot plus the plaque. Plaque, we call it in medicine as atheroma or atherothrombosis. That is the one that is like a stone, it's like a cement, no? Because the calcium deposition there is a, it hardens the deposit, no? And so it is not only a blood clot, but it is also atherothrombosis. The thrombus part is the blood clot, then the plaque is the atheroma. No, it produces humps and bumps in the arteries.
Okay. You know, we hear about arterial sclerosis all the time and or hardening of the arteries. You brought an interesting thing from the newspaper, and I don't know if we can show this. Can you see this on the
Can you
TV or
focus it?
not? If we can focus on it or not. This is what the dam looks like after not having any water for a long time. This is in the newspaper today.
Because of the El Nino. Yeah.
Because of El Nino. And Dr. Art tells me that that's what
How it
arterial
looks like.
sclerosis looks like.
Right.
That's what it
Yeah,
looks
exactly.
like. Our arteries look like when we have arterial sclerosis. Thank you very much.
Actually, the artery should be very, very smooth.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But if it is sick, no, due to the various causes of arteriosclerosis, which we can mention in a little while, it has a lot of cracks.
Okay.
Just like a rice field or a dam that has been dried for so long, and that is arteriosclerosis. So it's not only the hardening, it is also the narrowing, and it is also the roughening
Okay.
because of a lot of cracks in the artery. And you know, even in our early years of study in medicine, a surface that is rough, there will be more clotting. I remember we have an experiment wherein we drop blood in a glass, which is very smooth, and then a drop of blood in the sandpaper, which is rough. It's many, many times faster to clot in a rough surface. And that is actually happening with the blood inside of an artery that has roughening of its intima or its inner portion.
So we have the problem of clotting
Clotting,
caused because of the
yes,
arteriosclerosis
and then hardening because
And hardening.
of the deposition of calcium,
of calcium.
which is part of the healing process. That's why I said arteriosclerosis actually could be said as a healing process that has gone awry. No, the body does not realize, does not know that by repairing it with calcium, it would harden and it will make it very, very hard.
So when it gets these cracks, the body says, "Hey, we got to fix this,"
Yes.
and it runs a bunch of calcium in there to fix
Yeah.
it, and that
Initially-
hardens the arteries.
Initially, it is the various white blood cells. Then the fibrins. Fibrins means like hair-like structures to patch it. Then afterwards, to finally wall it off, to repair it, calcium will be placed in there. But then the body does not know that it will harden the artery, which is supposed to be pliable, pulsatile, and I would say very smooth.
Okay.
No? So that is what actually happens in arteriosclerosis. So I define arteriosclerosis as the hardening, narrowing, and roughening of the artery. And that is the culprit mainly. But the cause of this, as I told you before, is not cholesterol. There are many causes. In the conventional medicine, they considered smoking, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, sedentary way of life, not exercising at all, your gender. You know, we males are 8 times more prone to heart attack than females.
Eight times.
8 times more.
8 times.
But when they become menopausal, we are 1 in 1. We are 1 in 1.
Why is that?
Well, it's like this. There are 2 theories, which is not only theory, but it's the most likely explanation. The female estrogen, while they are still fertile and have their periods, is protective of the artery. This has been proven. Now, number 2, the iron content of their blood increases at the time when they go into menopause. Normally, iron is thrown out monthly with females, but we men we do not menstruate, so
Right.
we do not throw iron. Iron is a cause in excess. No, iron is a cause of hardening of the artery. This is a culprit. In excess iron, especially those who self-medicate, whenever they get dizzy or for whatever reason their blood pressure is low, they thought it's iron deficiency anemia. No, they would buy in the counter in the pharmacy iron preparation, and this is one contributing factor why people have arteriosclerosis.
Well, you know, 45 years ago, when a woman was pregnant, doctors gave them iron pills.
Well, yes.
That-
For growing
is that-
children,
Yeah.
it is good. In patient with iron deficiency anemia, with not enough, that is good. No. People who have oozing ulcers or say oozing.
Hey, welcome back. Now we're going to talk a little bit about chelation, what it is, how it's used, and what it does. Doc, can you enlighten us on chelation, please?
Okay. I call the kind of chelation that I do as cardiovascular chelation.
Okay.
It is not the ordinary chelation or the usual chelation that is being heard. I made quite a lot of modification with regards to this, especially to suit the Asian patients.
Okay.
No, but we can adjust it even for Caucasians. Now, this is a procedure that is a surrogate or a substitute or alternative to bypass surgery and angioplasty, which are invasive. This one is non-invasive. And I would say that chelation is a scientific, effective, legal method of removing or declogging the arteries that had been blocked by atherothrombosis, which I mentioned a while ago, that it is the hardening and narrowing and swelling of the arteries, which include, of course, the roughening of the inner portion of the arteries. Now, this is done by infusing a kind of mixture, the basic of which is EDTA,
Okay.
which can claw or can combine molecularly with the plaque, the hardened portion of the artery, and then it goes together in the circulation and is excreted out of the kidney. The scientific basis of this is very good because, you know, the thing that we remove from the plaque could be excreted or could be measured in the urine. No,
Okay.
we can show this. No. Okay. Now, chelation therapy is being done by people, preferably internists and cardiologists, that have special training in this kind of a procedure. No. Okay. Normally, it takes about 1.5 hours as per modified by my clinic. But then in Germany and in the United States, it takes about 4 hours. 4 hours. Now, in the process, the patient will not feel any dizziness, headache, weakness, or anything. Actually, they will not have any side effects, except when you place the small needle. We are using pediatrics needle to infuse the solution for 1.5 hours. That is the only thing that the patient may complain of. No,
And so this is done as a drip?
it is done as a drip for 1.5 hours. No, okay. And as I said, even after the procedure, if they are driving, going back to the office, they can drive. There will be no precaution. And this is very, very safe, believe me. For the past 25 years that I have been doing this, I have not seen a single death directly related to cardiovascular chelation. Unlike, of course, the invasive procedure, which has certain, which I wouldn't touch, percentage of death. Okay. As I said, I had been doing this procedure the past 25 years. And just by common sense, we will not exist this long treating patients if it has side effect. In fact, it has side benefits, no, rather than having side effect. No, just to mention in passing that there are a lot of side benefits. Number one is it will increase the immune system of the patient. Okay. In other words, they will have resistance against frequent bacterial infection, viral infection, and even what we call the fungal infection. It increases your cognitive function, your ability to think. In fact, this could be used to treat Alzheimer's disease, those who are Alzheimer's disease. For the simple reason, I will not wait for a while to explain this. You know, patients with Alzheimer's disease have been found to have a lot of aluminum deposit in the brain and mercury in the brain. These substances or these minerals are being removed by chelation. Now, it of course increase our gonadal function, our gonads. No, in other words, those whose sexual performance are already diminishing, it could improve. Okay. Now, chelation also could prevent cancer. Believe me. There's a study in the United States in one township And they found out that with only 20 chelation, using the general population as the control, they chelated about 100 people. No, using the general population as the control, they have the same lifestyle. They eat more or less the same kind of food, and their exposure to pollution is about the same because they live by the highway. Now, those who had been chelated 20 times, the 100 of them, after 18 years has been found to have less incidence, as much as 90% less incidence of cancer. So this is, because it is common sense. When you remove the toxic minerals and the toxic chemicals in the body as being done by chelation, naturally, those causes will disappear. And
well, that's an interesting point. I read up a little bit on chelation, and I saw that it started out as a way of removing heavy metals from the body that were poisoning the body. So how did that move from removing heavy metals to the treatment of cardiovascular problems?
During the early times of chelation, one thing that they noticed, whenever they do ejection of metals, we call it via the urine, and of course some in the liver, they found out that the complexion of the people or the person is getting better. It's pinkish. If you are fair, they become pink. And they determined it, and they found out that it's because the arteries are flowing very well. There is a good blood flow in the circulation. So since then, scientists determined why this is so. And they found out that the effect of EDTA is to claw. It's like the pinch of the crab.
Right.
They claw the molecules of the plaque, especially the calcium molecule, the aluminum molecules, and then it goes together in the blood, and then it's thrown out in the kidney. The kidney gets the substances that be thrown from the blood. So we can measure these things that is thrown out. And so that's the reason why it softens the arteries again. And as I told you, we have an instrument that could determine this. Before we do chelation, we can determine how hard it is. And then at the end of chelation, say the session of about 30, the usual session is 30, I will be able to demonstrate to the patient that the artery is already soft and flexible.
So this is an actual measurement, a physical measurement that you can show that the arteries have gotten more elastic? Or?
Yes, it's a computer measurement. It's a computer measurement. For example, I'll give you an idea. The normal flexibility or softness of the artery is something like 0 to 70. Okay. 70 to about 300 is hard. More than 300, it is very, very hard. I get patients with 350, 400 in the beginning. But at the end of the 30th session, it will be within the 0 to 70 level. And of course, the patient feels the difference. But that is subjective. It is not saleable among doctors if it is subjective. Because what the doctor wants is something that is measurable. And this apparatus could measure it.
Does this therapy, does it have to continue for the rest of the patient's life, or is it just over a certain period that you do it, or how does that work?
At the end of the prescribed number of sessions, I request the patient to come every 3 to 4 months for one session. The reason for which is, it is my opportunity to evaluate if they are following the lifestyle that I have advised them. Number 2, there are factors in the environment that is beyond the control of the patient. They will imbibe it. For example, lead in busy streets of Manila. You can inhale it, you can ingest it. It could be absorbed in the skin, No, it could be absorbed in the skin. That's why, I advise those who are coloring their hairs using lead-based coloring. They should avoid that because that could be absorbed in the scalp. And of course, sometimes the paints, these are lead-based. You think it is something white dust only, but actually those are paint dust. And it could drop in your coffee, in your food, and you'll have the lead in your... Now, these are the things that we want to remove so that there will be no recurrence of arteriosclerosis. No.
In addition to the therapy that you said, what, 30 sessions or something is a normal session, what sort of lifestyle changes do you recommend to your patients?
Okay.
I mean, or is it just the therapy, or do you have lifestyle changes as well?
Yes,
or?
very important, the lifestyle change. Number one is we teach them the right or proper foods.
Okay.
No. And I will talk about it. They have to have the right exercise program. No. And they have to have the right nutrients. It's higher, we call it nutraceutical, which is higher in level than simply supplements.
Okay.
No? Okay. Since we know that there's a lot of things that are ingested whenever we eat that can cause arteriosclerosis, we teach them, of course, to avoid processed foods because we said there are a lot of chemicals there and it is very salty. They should take vegetables that are organic, no, not with pesticides, etc. Now, they should take food that are fresh, no, because stored foods, refrigerated foods for many days has no more nutrients, no. Okay. They should avoid commercially produced meat because, say, these animals are being injected chemicals and fattening substances like estrogen. They call it diethylstilbestrol. Now, if injected, it will cause fattening. Their weight will increase so that you'll be earning more money. No? But the problem is, this estrogen or DES, which is part of the birth control pills, may cause cancer, may cause arteriosclerosis and all of this. Very commonly, cancer of the breast and cancer of the prostate. No? So we teach them to avoid this. No? And of course, a lot of other things like they should avoid hydrogenated fat. Hydrogenated fat means liquid fats, whether it's from vegetable, that has been bombarded by hydrogen to make it semi-solid, like margarine. Anyway, margarine is generic. We are not mentioning any. This is very bad. This can cause arteriosclerosis, and this is not recognized by the body. It's like a foreign substance. Now, the other thing is, in the use of oil, selecting oil. Believe me, coconut oil is the #1 oil in the world. No.
It's the best? Or
it is the best.
It's the best, okay.
Although in the past, because perhaps economic computation, they have quite spewed out a lot of criticism on, but this is the best because coconut oil is heat resistant. You can use it 5 to 6 times in cooking for as long as it does not have the taste of, say, the fish. No? Okay. It contains lauric acid. That's the only oil that contains lauric acid. Lauric acid or laurine is a substance which is equivalent to the colostrum of the mother, the first milk of the mother that gives immunity to the child. And coconut has that. Really? So it increases your immunity. No? So I always say, take coconut oil for cooking. No? Now, polyunsaturated oil like olive oil, soya oil, sunflower oil, all of this. This is very good because the body does not produce their kind of oil. But use it once only if you will use it for frying. But take it more with salad. It's very important because it is called essential fatty acid. It is not produced by the body. And it is very good for the health of the arteries, of the heart, of the brain, etc. So that is one. And then number 2, the only reason why I said we should avoid fast food is because they are using the oil repeatedly the whole day. Here is a strainer, say the French fries there, place it there in Coke, then afterwards another one the whole day. When in fact, if it is coconut oil, they use it only for about 7 days. So I advise them, not criticizing them, if possible, even if it will be more expensive maybe on their part. Don't use too much.
Services offered. 2D echo. Heart imaging technique which visualizes the heart size and determine etiologic, anatomic, and physiologic heart problem. Plain and with color flow Doppler and with contrast study. Stress echo. Dobutamine stress test, stress echo without physical exercise. And pedia, by appointment. Treadmill/stress exercise test. Records heart's electrical activities during active exercise. X-ray. Chest X-ray and special procedures with minimal radiation exposure. Ultrasound, imaging of body parts using sound waves. General ultrasound. Transvaginal, vascular, arterial and venous duplex scan, 4D ultrasound. CT scan, computed tomography, multi-slice imaging of various organs. Mammography, imaging of the breast for early detection of cancer. Endoscopy and colonoscopy allows the doctor to examine gastrointestinal tract by using camera for direct visualization, spirometry. Pulmonary function test, used to diagnose asthma and other conditions that affect breathing. Complete laboratory, routine hematology, blood chemistry, serology, immunology, clinical microscopy, electrolytes. Pregnancy test, drug test, home service available, DOH, LTO accredited. ECG, electrocardiogram, a recording of the electrical activity of the heart. Audiometry, tests the person's ability to hear various sound frequencies. It is needed to determine hearing loss. Multi-specialty doctor. Cardiology. Gynecology. Internal medicine. Pulmonology. Dermatology. Colorectal surgeon. Orthopedic surgeon. Pediatric surgeon. General surgeon. ENT doctors. Cardiopedia. Pediatrician. Endocrinology. Nephrology. Rheumatology. Urology. Ophthalmology. Hematology. Oncology. Gastroenterology. Aesthetic.
This is the story of how cholera changed my village. Tiny germs of cholera, too small to see, spread through the river. So small, yet so dangerous. Without realizing, women carried cholera home in the water. Flies carried cholera on their feet. Unwashed hands spread it too. We swallowed cholera germs in our water, on our food, and on our fingers. It happened so fast. By morning, my father was very sick. He had diarrhea that looked like gray water and poured out of him. I was so scared. I went for help. I never rode so fast. One look at my father and the nurse knew it was cholera. We had to work fast to save him. We made a special drink to help him. First, we made the water safe. We filtered it through cloth and boiled it for 1 minute. Then we mixed half a teaspoon of salt and 6 teaspoons of sugar in 1 liter of this safe water. It tasted like tears, not too salty. I worried my father would die before my eyes, but he soon felt a little stronger. The nurse explained to me that not everyone who swallows cholera germs gets sick like my father, but they can still spread the disease. Now I needed to take safe water to my village and teach them how to protect themselves from cholera. I saw a girl carrying water. I told her she could make the water safe by adding chlorine drops and waiting half an hour. There was a man about to eat with unclean hands. I told him to always wash his hands with soap and safe water after going to the toilet. Only with clean hands could he eat safely. I saw villagers spreading cholera into our river. I told them we needed to dig latrines far from the river, at least 30 meters away. This was important to keep our village clean. I found a mother preparing unsafe food. I told her, first, we must wash our hands with safe water. Then, we had to wash and peel the food, cook it and always eat it hot, and protect it from flies. I spread the word throughout my village and ran to find my father. I was so happy to see he was better. Our village became healthy. Now we filter and boil our water to make sure it is safe. We always use latrines and always wash our hands after. Food is safe from flies, washed and peeled and cooked. And we always wash our hands before cooking and eating. We made our village safe from cholera. Spread the word. Your village can be safe too.
Sandro, pag-uusapan natin dahil nga Marso na, no? Women's Month. At dito sa Good Morning Boss, iba't iba yung mga na-interview na natin ng mga kababaihan na talagang tinataguyod ang talento at galing. So ngayon naman umaga, pag-uusapan natin ang mga kababaihan po sa linya ng medisina. So this morning, let us all welcome our very special guest, Ms. Elvira Estuita, President Auxiliary to the Philippine Medical Association and PMP Diagnostics. Good morning, Ms.
morning, ma'am.
Elvie.
Good morning, Diane and Sandro.
Yes. Oh, Miss Elvie, okay, so we understand that you are a nurse at isa rin po kayong may bahay ng isang doktor. So, kumbaga, paano po ba ninyo nababalanse yung pagiging isang may bahay at ang inyong pagiging nurse na rin? At siguro, bilang isang babae, kayo na rin po ang tinatawag na ilaw ng tahanan.
Ano lang yon, kumbaga, time management. No? I wake up early in the morning. You won't believe it. Siguro I wake up at as early as 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, ang aga.
And I do my household chores.
Okay.
And so that I have other time for other activities, no? Besides being a mom and a wife.
So speaking of other activities, ang presidente ng Auxiliary to the Philippine Medical Association at the same time PMP Diagnostic. So umpisahan po natin, unahin natin yung Auxiliary to the Philippine Medical Association or APMA. Ano po ba ito?
Ito ho ang samahan ng mga asawa ng doktor, national organization. No? At kami ay ang objective namin ay tulungan i-assist ang Philippine Medical Association and to foster fellowship and camaraderie. At the same time, community services in relation to health.
Okay. And then, kumbaga ito po, paano po ba tayo naging parte nga po nitong APMA na ito?
Well, naging parte ako ng APMA sa dahilang ako'y asawa ng doktor. Sabi ko nga earlier, ang APMA ay samahan ng mga asawa ng doktor. So, being a spouse of a doctor, I got involved in this.
So, nasabi nyo kanina, community services. So, dito
Opo.
pumapasok na nagagamit po natin yung PMP Diagnostic. So, ano-ano po yung mga proyekto natin?
Meron ho kaming in terms of mga medical services, nagbibigay kami ng libreng ECG, no? And RBS, like I hope you won't mind, in Salamat Doc, no? We do it once a month with them, no? And also we do other projects like feeding, no? We do lectures, seminars in relation to health. Kung ano ang pangangailangan, no? At that time or at that moment, we cater to that, no?
Okay.
Tinutulungan namin sila.
Now, ito pong PMP po, Mama, how long has this been in existence po? And kayo po ba kumbaga yung main na nagtayo po nitong PMP?
Yeah, may core group yan. No? It was started with my husband and the other group, like 4 doctors, 2 nurses, and 1 businesswoman. It has been in existence for almost, now we're going into 28 years. No?
28 years?
Yes, 28 years.
And this has how many branches po all over the Philippines?
Well, we have 2 branches. We have one in Santa Rosa, Laguna, and also in Makati, Malugay. We also have one in Dasmariñas, Cavite. But the main is in Taft.
Okay. Miss Elvie, pag-usapan natin yung mga karaniwang problemang nararanasan ng mga kababaihan sa ngayon since Women's Month nga po. Ano po ba yung mga ginagawang proyekto or ginagawa niyong mga programs para sa mga kababaihan natin? Most especially, Sandro, nung Typhoon Yolanda, may mga mga kababaihan din po naapektuhan. May ginawa po ba tayong tulong para sa kanila?
Well, usually pag may mga ganong traumatic experience, no, due to natural disasters, we hold mga seminars, no? Parang for them to be able to get back to the normal life, no? And also give them their needs, no? Siyempre, medyo nagkaroon ng problema with regards to family na apektuhan dahil nga sa mga pangyayaring nawalan ng bahay, no, walang makain. So, tinutulungan natin sila, no, na binibigyan natin sila ng kanilang mga pangangailangan at basic needs. But of course, sa kababaihan, tinutulungan namin sila by giving their parang post-seminar, no, pagkatapos ng sakuna na nangyari.
So, yung mga seminars, free lang po ito?
Opo.
So, dun sa mga kababaihan natin, most especially yung mga boss natin na nanonood ngayon, paano po ba sila mag-get in touch sa APMA or sa PMP Diagnostics?
Well, they can get in touch. We have our office in the building of the Philippine Medical Association sa North Avenue. And doon ho kami naka-office. No?
Okay. Ito po, ma'am, naman, now that we've talked about, kumbaga, what you're being busy about, now let's talk about a little more on the personal side, kumbaga. Kayo po ay nurse at ang inyong husband po ay doctor naman po.
Pareho
nasa medical field po, kumbaga kayo. So, how do you think this helps with your relationship? Or like, is it a relationship that started from, kumbaga, the common factor natin ito is medicine?
In short, paano sila nagkakilala?
Oo, parang ganun.
Nagkakilala kami kasi student sa isang hospital, yung Manila Adventist Medical Center, and my husband was already a consultant, no? So when you are in a work environment that you mingle with doctors and nurses, no, syempre, yun na nagkakakita-kitaan at nagkakakilala. So siguro we have a common interest, no, in serving the people, no, ang community natin. So isa sigurong factor yon na nag-click din kami kasi we have the same interest.
Pero Miss Elvie, hindi po ba mahirap maging isang asawa ng isang doktor na talagang napaka-busy at kayo rin busy? So paano po yung time management nun? Alam ko marami rin kayong mga ginagawa. Most especially, presidente pa kayo ng dalawang company. So paano po yun?
Well, wala namang, nasa pag-uusap yon ng mag-asawa, no? Sige, hindi, importante naman yung quality time, eh. Hindi naman yung being together for 24 hours a day. So you talk about it, no, in terms of managing the family and in terms of your relationship as husband and wife.
Yes. Aside from the relationship of being husband and wife, syempre you have your children also.
Yes.
So how do you, kumbaga, be the parents that you have to be for your children also and guide them to grow up also, to be, syempre, fine women and men na rin?
Yeah, well, fortunately, may mababait naman ng mga anak ko, no? I have a daughter who is internship na in a month's time, no, in Makati Medical. No?
Wow,
nagkakaroon ako ng doktora, no, and my second daughter is a graduate ng business, and my youngest, no. But anyway, as I told you, quality time lang talaga ang kailangan, no. Hindi naman kailangan na magkakasama kami kasi as grown-up kids, they have their own barkada na rin, eh.
Yes,
no, parang less parental authority or presence ng magulang, mas okay sa kanila, no. But we get the time to talk to them.
Okay, Miss Elvie, at this point, do you have any tips or advices dun sa mga mga kababaihan dyan na nag-a-aspire maging katulad nyo na maging nurse?
Well, ang akin lang basta start with a dream, no? Focus, no? And there's nothing impossible.
Yes.
Ang mga babae ngayon, they play key roles already, no, in the community, no? Global, no, they play a key role, no? So importante ang kababaihan talaga na maging matatag, no?
Yes.
At magkaroon ng sarili nilang desisyon.
Okay. Miss Elvie, baka naman po meron kayong mga latest, mga upcoming projects or mga programs sa APMA po na pwede pong anyayahan ng ating mga manonood ngayon na to take part of, or maybe you could also invite some of our viewers this time naman join, probably. Maybe they haven't heard of APMA and now they are curious about how they can be part of this organization.
Yeah, inaanyayahan ko kayo sa aming convention, no? May 17. That is our 68th annual convention sa gaganapin po sa Hyatt Casino Hotel sa Pedro Hill, no? And ang aming theme ay relevance of APMA in the changing times, no?
Alright.
So sana mag-join kayo at you will find it worth really joining, no?
Alright, at yan, ang dami nating natutunan ngayong umaga. Sandro, most especially time management, lalo na sa mag-asawang parehong nasa isang field, no? So, thank you so much for joining us this morning. That was Ms. Elvira Estuita, President Auxiliary to the Philippine Medical Association, PMP Diagnostic.
Maraming salamat for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Services offered. 2D echo. Heart imaging technique which visualizes the heart size and determine etiologic, anatomic, and physiologic heart problem. Plain and with color flow Doppler and with contrast study. Stress echo. Dobutamine stress test, stress echo without physical exercise. And pedia, by appointment. Treadmill/stress exercise test. Records heart's electrical activities during active exercise. X-ray. chest X-ray and special procedures with minimal radiation exposure. Ultrasound, imaging of body parts using sound waves. General ultrasound. Transvaginal, vascular, arterial and venous duplex scan, 4D ultrasound. CT scan, computed tomography, multi-slice imaging of various organs. Mammography, imaging of the breast for early detection of cancer. Endoscopy and colonoscopy allows the doctor to examine gastrointestinal tract by using camera for direct visualization, spirometry. Pulmonary function test, used to diagnose asthma and other conditions that affect breathing. Complete laboratory, routine hematology, blood chemistry, serology, immunology, clinical microscopy, electrolytes. Pregnancy test, drug test, home service available, DOH, LTO accredited. ECG, electrocardiogram, a recording of the electrical activity of the heart. Audiometry, tests the person's ability to hear various sound frequencies. It is needed to determine hearing loss. Multi-specialty doctor. Cardiology. Gynecology. Internal medicine. Pulmonology. Dermatology. Colorectal surgeon. Orthopedic surgeon. Pediatric surgeon. General surgeon. ENT doctors. Cardiopedia. Pediatrician. Endocrinology. Nephrology. Rheumatology. Urology. Ophthalmology. Hematology. Oncology. Gastroenterology. Aesthetic.
Welcome back to Good Morning Boss. At syempre po ngayong umagang ito ay may tutuklasin tayong isang klinika na nag-specialize po sa mga iba't ibang diagnosis sa iba't ibang mga kalagayan.
Sa pagkamit ng kalusugan pangkahalatan na isinusulong ng Department of Health, isa ito na patuloy na mabigyan ng dekalidad na healthcare ang bawat Pilipino. Kabilang dito ang serbisyo na kukuha sa diagnostic centers na pinupuntahan para masuri kung nananatiling malusog o may problema na ang mga parte ng katawan. Matatagpuan dito ang 2D echo o two-dimensional echocardiography na isang test na may kita ang 4 na kwarto ng puso. Kung may abnormality o bara, malalaman din dito.
Usually, ang 2D echo ay tumatagal ng 20 to 30 minutes. May mga pagkakataon na ang 2D echo ay mahirap makita, may mga factors or may mga hadlang katulad ng sa babae kapag masyadong malaki ang kanyang suso, at kung sa lalaki naman kung may tinatawag kaming malaki din ang suso or gynecomastia.
Meron din ditong stress test kung saan pinapatakbo ang mga pasyente sa loob ng 18 minuto o higit o mas mababa pa.
After that treadmill, isasalang agad ang pasyente dun sa echo o 2D echo para malaman kung with that stress, meaning sa pagtakbo ng pasyente sa treadmill, malalaman natin kung ang contractility o yung pagtibok ng puso ay may epekto.
Iba din ang function ng CT scan.
Dito sa CT scan na to, ang kadalasang nakukuhang problema, una, claustrophobia. Ito yung takot sa maliit na spasyo. Pangalawa, kung ang pasyente ay gagamit ng isang IV contrast o yung isang dye na para mas malalong makita sa CT scan, usually ang mga hypertensive na pasyente o may kidney failure, hindi na doon nagkakaroon kasi ang contrast, may tinatawag kami contrast-induced nephropathy. Ito yung sa pamagitan ng dye, nagkakaroon ng damage further ang kidney natin.
Kaya ding ma-detect ng CT scan ang hemorrhage na mahalaga para malaman ang sanhi ng brain stroke. Mas define ang nakikitang parts ng katawan sa CT scan kumpara sa X-ray.
Ito namang X-ray nito, ang kaibahan nito sa CT scan, ang isang parang may gamma rays. Para itong isang camera, pag pinicturan ka, may lalabas agad na develop. Mas define ang parts na nakikita sa CT scan as compare sa X-ray.
Sa pamamagitan nito, may kita din kung positibo ang isang tao sa pulmonary tuberculosis. Para naman sa mga babaeng nagbubuntis ang OB/GYN na may ultrasound.
Dito nalalaman kung may tinatawag kaming age of gestation. Ibig sabihin ito yung buwan o days ng isang fetus sa loob ng tiyan ng nanay niya. At pag hindi naman ito buntis o ang isang pasyente ay hindi buntis, pwede rin itong gamitin kung ito ay may diferensya sa kanyang ovaryo o sa reproductive system. Kadalasan kung ito may myoma, endometriosis o any pathology in her reproductive system.
Iba din ang tawag sa diagnostic test na pinapasok sa loob ng katawan.
Sa endoscopy, ito ay ang pagsilip sa loob ng bibig. Ayun namin gastroscopy. Ipinapasok ang scope sa bibig ng pasyente hanggang dun sa kanyang tiyan o dun sa stomach area.
Sa pamamagitan nito, nakikita maging ang small and large intestines at malalaman kung anumang klaseng bukol ang sanhi ng sakit.
Kadalasan ito ay nagiging therapeutic or diagnostic para sa pasyente. Therapeutic, usually, doon namin nagagawa yung paglalaykit ng isang bleeding kung halimbawa may ulcer o merong bleeding doon sa loob ng tiyan niya, usually ginagamit yon. Kadalasan nagkakaroon din ng biopsy dito.
Para naman sa breast exam, mammography ang isinasagawa.
Tinetest nito yung suso ng isang pasyente.
Mahalagang sabihin ng kukuha ng mammography kung siya ay buntis o hindi para hindi magdulot ng depekto sa sanggol ang radiation na dulot nito. Sa laboratorio, isinasagawa ang pag-aaral sa dugo, ihi at dumi ng tao. Isa sa nakukuha dito ang CBC o Complete Blood Count. Isa sa mga kilalang nagsasagawa ng ganitong tests ay PMP Diagnostic Center na magdadalawamput 8 taon na sa Agosto.
Maganda magbigay ng serbisyo, no, pagdating sa aming mga tauhan at ating mga doktor. At saka kung mapapansin niyo sa paligid namin, madami na ring diagnostic center, no. Pero kami ho ang kinikater ng mga doktor sa dahilang maganda ang serbisyo at mabilis ang mga resulta ng mga diagnostic procedures namin.
Bilang kanilang pakikiisa sa kalusugan pangkahalatan, naglulunsad sila ng community outreach tuwing kanilang anibersaryo.
Tinutulungan din namin talaga ang mga pasyente na talagang wala rin namang kaya. No, kumbaga meron din kaming charity rate for them. Sana po tangkilikin ninyo ang PMP Diagnostic Center Incorporated kasi ang masasabi ko lang ho ay meron kami mga doktor, no, at mga staff na magagaling at mababait. Masasabi namin na kami ay makakapagbigay ng magandang serbisyo sa mga aming kliyente, no, nire-refer ng mga iba't ibang doktor sa amin. At ganoon din po ang aming resulta, no, ay madali hong makukuha.
Kitang-kita naman ang nakikisabay na ding teknolohiya sa larangan ng medisina at pagsusuri sa kalusugan. Patunay na unti-unti na nating nakakamit ang kalusugan pangkalahatan.